nonsense. She wasn't part of all the silliness. And then I got to thinking. So, yes, Sandra did fly under the radar as far as the nonsense goes, but you know what? The bats at South Street did not fly under the radar. And I think they had tennis rackets in, and that's how Sandra became active in tennis, swatting those bats. I do remember a tennis-related story as well. She got that she played squash, I think. And at her bridal shower that we had, we played squash too, with zucchinis. And you can just imagine, just let your mind drift what we did with the zucchinis. Remember that, Sandra?
Yeah.
At that same party, Sandra was presented with a chastity belt. And it was very ornate, but we wondered if it worked.
I didn't have any more children now.
Well, then it must have worked. Yeah. I just have to look. Another thing I think of when I think of Sandra is drinks. The first thing I think of with drinks is, Sandra, do you remember the night of the infamous chocolate martinis? I went to a party about 10 minutes late. I arrived at the party at the top of the stairs. Here's Sandra. I was 10 minutes late. Avis, I'm blitzed. I said, Sandra, I'm 10 minutes late. How can you be blitzed? She said, chocolate martini. And it's true. By the end of the night, we were all blitzed.
It only takes a sip to get me. She doesn't.
And they were made of cream de cacao, cream de menthe, and chocolate chips, I think. Yeah, no wonder. And vodka. Yeah, no wonder. The other thing I think of Sandra is a really sweet little story. I was working midnights on South Street, and Sandra was working 3 to 11. And I had stopped at Tim Hortons on my way in to have a coffee while I was working. And I hate tea with a passion. So I lifted my coffee lid, started to drink it, and I thought, oh my God, tea! They gave me tea! So I was going, tea, blah, 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 I can't stand this, what am I going to do, no coffee? Guess who finished her shift, drove to Tim Hortons, and got me a coffee and came back. That's all here for Sandra. I also remember working with her the night of the infamous Hope Diamond. She was the one who shared the pleasure with me of dumping a bag of tubes of blood on the bench with a diamond following. And I thought, here's a diamond stud coming out of this bag. Where could it have come from? Well, I'm not going to fill you in on the details. Let's just say it was called the Hope Diamond. And Dr. Girardi had a real good laugh when we found it. Anyway, that's another memory I have of her. Now, the last thing I have to say about Sandra is super active, and you can tell that Avis Murray is not. And Sandra has started doing all these things like yoga and whatever, and I get emails that say, I'm running this yoga class, come on down, and Avis keeps saying, no, I think I'll just pass. And then I get more yoga letters. Well, I finally said, sir, the only way I'll ever come to a yoga class with you is if it's chair yoga and I don't have to move. Guess what I get tonight? She is running a chair yoga. I have to go. Can you believe it? And anyways, that's a good excuse. We'll see each other. Sandra, from all of us who have worked with you, especially those from the old days in the core lab who maybe haven't seen you recently, and everybody, we wish you good health, good luck, happiness, and a wonderful, wonderful retirement. Enjoy, and we know you will.